The YouTube that made many channels grow is dead, and most people have not realized it yet. The biggest danger now is not posting too little. It is using an old strategy on a platform that has completely changed. While many creators are still making videos as if we were in 2022, the audience has changed, artificial intelligence has changed, the way people watch has changed, and the algorithm has become much more demanding. And if you do not understand this now, you can work hard, publish often, edit a lot, use several artificial intelligence tools, and still feel like your channel is invisible. But stay with me until the end, because I will give you a strategic shift that can change the way you see your channel. And at the end, I will also show you the most dangerous mistake creators using artificial intelligence are making without even noticing. The big idea is this: YouTube is no longer just a platform for random videos. It is becoming a platform of continuous experience, trust, retention, and business. And this changes everything for creators using artificial intelligence. I am EduAI, a digital clone created with artificial intelligence. I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And here on AI Core, I analyze tools, strategies, and real opportunities for people who want to use artificial intelligence to save time, produce better content, and build a smarter digital operation. The first thing you need to understand is that isolated content is losing power. In the past, many people thought like this: I will publish one good video, wait for it to explode, gain subscribers, and repeat when I can. That model is becoming weaker every day. Now, the creator who grows needs to think about continuity. It is not enough to have one interesting video. The channel needs to feel like a journey. The viewer needs to watch one video and feel like watching the next one. The audience needs to quickly understand why that channel exists, what it delivers, and why it is worth coming back. This is even more important for artificial intelligence channels, because this niche is getting crowded. Every day, someone appears talking about a new tool, a new promise, a new automation, a new agent, a new avatar, a new video system. If your channel does not have a clear identity, you become just another voice in the noise. And here comes a powerful rule. Your channel cannot be just a warehouse of new tools. It needs to have a thesis, a central promise, a reason for people to trust you. In the case of an artificial intelligence channel, the promise should not be only to show tools. The promise needs to show transformation. The tool is the vehicle. The transformation is the reason people click. When you talk about an artificial intelligence tool, the audience does not only want to know where to click. They want to know if that tool saves time, if it helps them sell more, if it reduces costs, if it improves content, if it can become income, if it prevents them from falling behind. This is the first mental adjustment. Stop selling the tool. Start selling the result. And remember this sentence, because at the end, I will come back to it and show you how it can save your channel from becoming just another generic artificial intelligence channel. The second change is even more important. The television has returned to the center of the game. Many people are still creating videos only for mobile. Fast cuts, rushed sentences, crowded screens, nervous music, excessive editing. But a huge part of YouTube consumption is moving to television. And when someone watches on television, the behavior changes. They are on the couch. They want to understand. They accept a calmer rhythm. They accept longer videos when there is value. They do not want to be bombarded only with cuts. They want to feel that they are watching something that deserves to stay on the big screen. This changes how you write a script. It changes how you create a thumbnail. It changes how you build the narrative. The video still needs to be strong in the first seconds, but it does not need to feel desperate all the time. The smart creator will learn to combine impact with clarity, rhythm with depth, a strong hook with a good explanation. Because the audience does not want to waste time, but they also do not want to feel tricked by frantic editing. Here, there is a huge mindset shift. The video does not need to be slow, but it also does not need to feel anxious. It needs control. It needs direction. It needs to make the viewer feel that every minute is taking them somewhere. The third rule is about artificial intelligence, and this is where many people will make a serious mistake. Artificial intelligence has become mandatory, but it cannot replace the creator's brain. It needs to expand the creator. If you use artificial intelligence to research, organize ideas, create title variations, build structure, repurpose content, generate clips, improve production, and speed up processes, you are playing the right game. But if you use artificial intelligence to produce everything automatically, with no curation, no review, no personality, and no opinion, you are creating content that looks like everybody else's content, and the audience notices. The image looks generic. The voice sounds generic. The script feels generic. The promise sounds generic. The thumbnail looks generic. And when everything feels generic, people do not feel a reason to click or to keep watching. This is a critical point for faceless channels. Faceless channel does not mean soulless channel. A faceless channel needs to have an even stronger identity. It needs a recognizable voice. It needs visual style. It needs positioning. It needs opinion. It needs a unique way to explain things. If you do not appear, your identity needs to appear in another way. And this is why many channels created with artificial intelligence will be born and die quickly, because they will focus on mass production, but forget trust. They will post a lot, but without direction. They will automate everything, but without a brand. They will use the same images, the same tones, the same titles, and the same promises everyone else is using. And when everyone uses the same shortcut, the shortcut becomes traffic. The fourth rule is simple but brutal. Positioning has become a matter of survival. When someone enters your channel, that person needs to understand in a few seconds what you do. If the channel talks about artificial intelligence for business, that needs to be clear. If it talks about tools for creators, that needs to be clear. If it talks about faceless channels, that needs to be clear. If it talks about automation to gain productivity, that needs to be clear. A confusing channel does not become a habit, and without habit, it becomes much harder to grow. The audience needs to know what to expect from you. The algorithm also needs to understand who it should show your content to. When you mix everything without strategy, you confuse both. Today, you talk about an app. Tomorrow, you talk about cryptocurrency. Then you talk about a random news story. Then you talk about editing. Then you talk about side income. Then you talk about programming. Everything may be inside the digital universe, but if there is no clear line, the channel loses strength. That does not mean you can never vary. It means your variation needs to obey one central promise. Here on AI Core, for example, the promise is simple: to analyze what really works in the artificial intelligence market, to save time, create businesses, automate production, and monetize with more intelligence. Do you see the difference? It is not just talking about tools, it is talking about practical application. The fifth rule is that authenticity has become a professional skill, and this is true even for a digital clone like me. It sounds contradictory, but it is not. The more artificial intelligence enters content, the more the audience looks for signs of human intention, human opinion, human curation, human choice, human relevance. Authenticity does not mean improvising everything. It does not mean recording without a script. It does not mean saying anything that comes to mind. Authenticity means having a clear vision and delivering value in a way that feels alive, direct, and honest. An avatar can be authentic if it represents a real strategy. A faceless channel can be authentic if it has a real identity. A script created with the help of artificial intelligence can be strong if it goes through curation, experience, and intention. The problem is not using artificial intelligence. The problem is looking like nobody thought behind it. And now I want you to pay close attention, because this separates the creator who only tests tools from the creator who builds an operation. Whoever uses artificial intelligence without strategy only accelerates their own confusion. Whoever uses artificial intelligence with strategy accelerates results. This sentence sounds simple, but it explains why so many channels do not move forward. The person adds more tools on top of weak positioning, adds more automation on top of a weak promise, adds more production on top of a channel the audience has not even understood yet, and then blames the algorithm. But the algorithm is not the only problem. Many times, the problem is that the channel was not clear enough to become a choice. The sixth rule is about the packaging of the video. Title and thumbnail are not details. They are the entrance door to the content. But now there is a problem. Many thumbnails made with artificial intelligence are starting to look the same. Plastic faces, exaggerated expressions, overly shiny backgrounds, generic text, too many elements. Everything is loud, but nothing feels trustworthy. The audience is being trained to ignore this. The best thumbnail for this new moment needs to look strong, but also believable. It needs contrast. It needs emotion. It needs one simple idea. It needs to work on mobile and on television. And most importantly, it needs to promise something the video actually delivers. Because empty clicks kill retention. And when retention falls, reach falls with it. The thumbnail cannot be only beautiful. It needs to be strategic. The title cannot be only curious. It needs to open a question that the video answers. The cover and the script need to work together. If the promise on the cover is strong, the beginning of the video needs to deliver fast. And this is where many people lose the game. The person creates an aggressive thumbnail, but starts the video with hesitation, says hello, thanks the audience, explains too much, takes too long to get to the point, and by the time something useful appears, the audience is already gone. On today's YouTube, the first seconds are not an introduction. They are proof. You need to prove quickly that the click was worth it. The seventh rule is the most important for anyone who wants to turn a channel into a business. You need to stop thinking only about views and start thinking about assets. A good video is not just a published piece of content. It can become a clip, it can become an ad, it can become a page, it can sell a tool as an affiliate, it can educate an audience, it can feed a sequence, it can become one piece inside a bigger system. This is the thinking that separates an amateur creator from a digital operator. And tools like HeyGen, Opus Clip, vidIQ, Hostinger, and other artificial intelligence solutions only make sense when they enter this logic. They are not magic. They are levers. If you want to use an avatar, use it to scale presence. If you want to use automatic clipping, use it to test discovery. If you want to use an optimization tool, use it to improve decisions. If you want to create a website, use it to capture value outside the platform. If you want to sell as an affiliate, use content to create trust before the offer. That is the game. Now, remember the promise I made in the beginning. I said that at the end, I would show the most dangerous mistake creators using artificial intelligence are making without noticing. The mistake is this. They are trying to look productive, but they are not building trust. Producing more does not mean growing more. Posting more does not mean selling more. Automating more does not mean creating authority. If the audience does not understand who you are, what you stand for, and why they should come back, artificial intelligence will only help you make more forgettable content. That is the strategic shift. The new YouTube does not reward only those who create fast. It rewards those who can turn attention into relationship, relationship into trust, trust into recurrence, and recurrence into business. So before thinking about the next tool, think about your central promise. Your channel helps who? Solve what problem? With what type of content? In what format? With what difference? And why should the viewer come back tomorrow? If you cannot answer that simply, it is not time to accelerate yet. It is time to clarify. And now comes the second delivery I promised at the beginning. How to use artificial intelligence without turning your channel into generic content. The answer is to use artificial intelligence in 3 layers. First, use it to accelerate the operational part. Research. Ideas, structure, clips, variations, organization. This saves time and removes weight from production. Second, use it to expand your creative capacity. Test angles, find better titles, simulate audience doubts, Create new ways to explain the same topic. This improves the quality of the message. Third, keep human what gives identity. Opinion, curation, positioning, style, promise, the choice of what enters and what stays out. When you do this, artificial intelligence stops being a factory of generic content. It becomes a production engine with direction. And this difference will become more and more visible. Those who only automate will disappear in the crowd. Those who automate with strategy will gain speed without losing identity. So if you want to create channels with artificial intelligence, start with the basic thing almost nobody wants to do. Define a clear promise. Create a consistent identity. Think in series, not only in random videos. Make titles and thumbnails that promise something real. Deliver value in the first seconds. Use artificial intelligence to accelerate, but not to erase your strategy. If you do this, your channel stops looking like a random attempt and starts looking like an operation. And that is the difference between playing with artificial intelligence and building a digital asset. If you want to test tools to create videos, avatars, clips, pages, and automations, use the tools I mentioned in the description. But use them with a business mindset. It is not about buying tools. It is about building a system. Because the new YouTube is not rewarding only those who post. It is rewarding those who understand behavior, retention, trust, packaging, consistency, and operation. And that is the big shift. The creator who remains stuck in the old model will blame the algorithm. They will say YouTube is dead. They will say reach is gone. They will say artificial intelligence has saturated everything. But the creator who understands the change will realize something else. YouTube is not dead. It has become more professional, more demanding, more competitive, and much more interesting for those who know how to operate. If you want to follow this new game with clarity, stay here on AI Core, because I will show you which tools deserve attention, which promises are exaggerated, and which strategies can really save time, increase production, and create monetization opportunities. The future does not belong to those who use artificial intelligence in any random way. It belongs to those who use artificial intelligence with strategy.